Good morning, everybody. Auronnj here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are going to look at the new global exclusive unit, Duane, who just launched this morning with the new patch. We're going to look at his stats, we're going to compare him to some other characters, see if he's a tank, if he's a bruiser, if he's a DPS class, see if he's worth dumping your Viz into as a double cost unit. Then I'm going to tell you if I'm going to pull him, and if you should pull him, or if you should think about pulling him, or whatever. Let's start on this screen here by comparing Duane to some other units in the game. So I pulled up Agrius, Eileen, Kayn, and Engelbert. This is a bruiser in Agrius, a true DPS in Eileen that had one of the highest attack stats in the game, Kayn, who is the best, probably dark DPS unit in the game right now, and Engelbert, who's a true tank. When we start comparing their stats, let's pay attention to these green, the things I have circled in green. Starting with Duane, 3,500 HP and 468 attack is a really great starting place for him. He's starting with tank levels of health. You can see he has more health than Agrius, who a lot of people will run as their tank, and less health than Engelbert, who is a true tank unit. So his HP, right off the top, I think his HP stat is in a really good place. I want to say these are base stats. None of these units that you're seeing right now have any passives assigned to them. They're just at level 99 and at max job rank. No passives are attributed to these characters yet. Okay, next, 468 attack. Well, if we're thinking he's kind of tanky with this 3,500 HP, surely he won't have a lot of attack then, right? Yeah, you'd be wrong. He actually has more base attack than Eileen does, and that's really all she does. So, whoa, we're into that, like, true, maybe next level bruiser category already, just looking at HP and attack. His to compare to Engelbert, the true tank, 256 attack, really low. Double, almost, nearly double the attack of Engelbert. Way more than Agrius, way more than Kayn, and more than the true DPS class of Eileen, who's sitting at 2,000 HP. Another thing in green I want to talk about with Duane is his pierce resist. We're in a very pierce heavy meta right now. Duane feels really strong right now because of this as well. He has 15 base pierce resist. Yeah, that's good. Not a lot of units are running with pierce resist. If we look across here and look at some of these other units, Agrius, -10, you go over here, kind of nothing, over here 5 for Kayn. Already he's feeling like he will fit very well into the meta right now. If we skip ahead, let's look at some of his maybe less good stats and compare them to the weaknesses that other units have. So to start with Duane, his luck is pretty low. Compare that to a high luck unit like Engelbert, who has 248, and 185 is significantly south of 248. This might make it hard for Duane to hit into evasion teams. So maybe an early counter right off the bat to him is evasion. 185 luck, he's not exactly a lucky guy. Also, he's -10 light resist. Now, as a dark unit, yeah, you're probably expecting that. Look at Kayn. Kayn also has that -10 light resist. So, okay, that's no surprise. And if these two, when you're talking about these two weaknesses together, there's not light evasion units. So, you're not worried about like the ultimate Duane combo counter right there. His missile resist is sitting at -5. And yet that's a weakness, I would say. -5 resist is not like game-breaking bad. But it is a mark against him, so I want to talk, I want to bring that up. But if we look over to somebody like Eileen, who he has more attack than, she has 2,000 health, 49 agility, 10 wind resist, or -10 wind resist, and -10 magic resist. One thing about Duane, he's resistant to magic, only 5. Like, it's not like a big strength of his. But what are the 3 most prevalent types of damage you're seeing in Guild Wars right now, that you're seeing in Arena right now? You're seeing Slash, which he's kind of strong against. You're seeing Pierce, which he's actually strong against. And you're seeing a lot of Magic, which he, again, is kind of strong against. Boom. I would say overall, his resists are a strength, and there's not light gunners. right? Fina. Like, oh yeah, Fina's not going to truck him, though. Fina's not out here putting out that damage. Yeah. So his agility, I didn't circle as a strength or weakness. 58 is on par for a good unit. Agrius is a little faster than him at 61, but he's not in that like Eileen Engelbert range where he's sitting at 49 or 48, something like that. So just baseline stats, Duane seems like someone you could plug in and he's going to put work in for you. That really high HP, that really high attack, again, not yet modified by any of his passives, is really strong. So let's move on. Okay, let's go to his passives, his support abilities. I've circled the 4 that I think he has that are really, really good. First, Swift Shadow. This is going to be the Am I a Tank support ability. It gives him move +1, which if you've been watching my tank videos, that move +1 is really important for your tanks so they can get out there and get that aggro. And it gives him increased chance of being targeted 2 to 5. Let's assume you max that out and he has 5 hate essentially right off the start. Alright, this is that like Vow of Love range of hate. He's essentially going to be aggroed by the other team until he takes about 2 attacks. That's not great. And as you'll see later, he does not have another way of generating hate. So is he a true tank? No, I'm going to say he's not a true tank. Can he tank for you? Yes, he definitely can tank for you if you can kill the other team fast enough, or if the rest of your team is in that bruiser category where they don't mind taking some hits at the end of a fight. Then I think this guy's up your alley. But only being able to generate that 5 hate for himself, that's not going to make him a true tank in terms of like Engelbert with Taunting Blade or Dario with Taunting Spell, something like that. Okay, Viking Lore. This is just a great passive. HP 12%, attack 24%. Like we said on the previous slides, he has a lot of HP and he has a lot of attack. So modifying those by a % increase is even better for him than it is on other characters. Knighthood, again, if you're wanting him to take those first couple hits, this is just 15 flat extra defense. Great, solid. I can get behind that. And then Unyielding Protection, if you are going to run into missile comps, you can boost his missile resist. Cool. The other 2 I think are pretty situational. Jump +1, maybe there's maps or something where this would be good. I know I ran Jump +1 on Warrior of Light in the map with that square in the middle, so he could jump right up there and get aggro. So okay. And then HP up, yeah, I mean HP up's fine, but like it's probably one of the worst of his support abilities because he has really good ones. A benefit to Swift Shadow over Vow of Love that I think deserves consideration. When you're talking about Guild Wars, you want to have 2 fights on offense in Guild Wars. You want to have more than 1 fight on defense in Guild Wars. Vow of Love only works for the first fight. I think as a support skill, this will give him hate at the beginning of every fight. Don't put that in like the encyclopedia of this game yet. I have not run him in Guild Wars to this point. Obviously he came out hours ago. But if that does trigger again at the beginning of every fight, it is significantly better than Vow of Love, which is good because this guy has a vision card that came out with him that you're probably going to want to run on him. Okay, let's skip to his counter abilities. This is maybe his one of his weakest things. Sorcery counter. I mean, I guess if you're running like magic teams with him, run this. If you're boosting his magic, but like let's go back a slide and look at his magic. 70, that's terrible. So probably not running that. Fighting Spirit, this is the one that makes you berserk. I don't think you're going to want to run that. And then Dragon's Blade, I really like this counter ability. It's the counterattack that absorbs HP. So if he's going to go out there as your tank, soak up some hits, maybe somebody will get on him, smack him, and it has that nice 2 range right here, and maybe he'll heal himself up a little bit. And it looks like he's going to hit hard, so that heal will be even better. I will probably be running Dragon's Blade as the counter move on him pretty much always. Okay, his main job abilities. I think for his main job, he has a lot of really good abilities. Let's go through them. So, Rising Twilight, 126% damage, so not that high, but decreases dark resistance by 38% for 3 turns for the target. And it's cheap. It's only 14 AP. So if you're running Duane in concert with Kane, or Super Stern, or Regular Stern, or Venera, or all of these dark units that are awesome, or let's say you're raiding with him and you're running a dark/raid team, oh my gosh. Decreased dark resistance by 38%? Oh, wait, did Dark Slash just become the best raid meta? I think it did. Or PvE meta? This is fantastic. Really, really good ability and really cheap to use. Okay, Dark Mantle. This is a 3-turn buff with 15 defense, 15 spirit, and a decrease to light resist by 5%. I can live with a 5% minus in my light resist for 15 defense and 15 spirit for 3 turns. Really good ability, and I would say it's better. It's situationally better than the Paladin ability that gives you the 1 turn of a lot of defense and spirit. This gives you less, but it's for 3 turns. So again, this is more of like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be a bruiser. I'm going to be able to soak up some hits, heal myself a little bit, and not die. I'll be alive for the second fight. That's kind of what this move says to me. I'm going to cast this early. I'm going to go bruise. I'm going to go out there with Agrius and Kane and mix it up. And then I'm going to live and be ready to go again. Okay, Darkness. Oh, back on this one. It costs 24 TP, so it'll generate 12 AP for you, which isn't terrible. Darkness, 165% damage and a 25% chance to inflict Disable for 3 turns on the target, and it's the cross-shaped AoE. Oh, hi Agrius. You exist in this game and can stop people. Hi, I'm Duane. I also exist in this game, and I can disable people. Fantastic ability. 28 AP is kind of steep. It's a pretty expensive thing to use, but my goodness, you land a few disables, that has a chance of turning an entire PvP fight around. Even just disabling one person is powerful. He has the opportunity to disable more than one person. Crazy, crazy good move. Alright, Atonement. Increase slash attack for 40 for 3 turns for allies, and it's a buff centered around him in the cross-shaped AoE, and increase defense penetration by 20 for 3 turns for yourself. Yep. You want to run this boy with Super Stern, or Regular Stern, or Venera, or all of these dark slash units that exist in this game and are good? Look at this buff. This is crazy. And it costs 30 TP, so it's going to generate 15 AP for Duane. Man, like, I'm assuming since he's new, his AI is going to be pretty decent. That's an assumption. Like, that's a pretty big assumption knowing how some of these AIs work. But if he is willing to use this ability at the beginning of a fight and use this ability at the beginning of a fight, he's going to be really good. He's going to be really good. Magic Infuse, I was confused by the wording on this. Give me a couple days to see this in action, but 200% damage, so good, large damage. Dispels auto revive for the target. Okay, I would rather have seen it disable Courage, Immortal Spirit, but auto revive exists in the form of Ryryu's TMR. It's going to exist even more once we get the Final Fantasy X collaboration and Yuna's just dropping that thing on people. So I like this move, but then it says restores AP 20 times for target. Does that mean, like, is this miswritten, or does it give the target AP? Because if it gives the target AP, this move's garbage. I don't like that trade very much. Like, I feel like it's kind of gross. And because it does 200% damage, he's going to want to use it. So I'm going to, until I learn more about that move, I'll be turning it off. Alright, let's continue though. Alright, Dark Knight of Remorse. So what sub-job do you want to set on him? Dark Knight of Remorse sub-job abilities, he has Sword Eater and Spell Eater. I think these are good, but I think they're only situationally good. It's single target attacks with good range. So immediately I'm like, alright, that's pretty good. I like it better than Launch already. And it a 43% attack decrease. Yeah, if he's paired up, if he's like opposite of like a Super Stern or something, and he walks out there and lands that on him, that's going to really help your chances of winning the fight. So these moves are good. I just don't know if they're his best moves. Let's go to Viking subjob next. So Viking subjob really gives you this great bruiser self buff that I'm hoping he'll cast on himself. 10 more defense for 3 turns and 40% more attack for 3 turns. It decreases your evasion, but we're probably not running this dude as an evasion unit because his luck is so bad. But 40% more attack, 10 more defense, sign me up. I'm good for that. Then at the rest of Viking, I really like Killing Axe on him because I think Duane's going to put out some serious damage. So give me that 25 human killer and 205% damage in a line-based AoE attack. Cool. I'm in for that. The rest of Viking is kind of okay for him. No one uses Warcry ever. Launch is a decent ranged attack that crits a lot, so it's pretty good. Like, you see Launch all the time from your axe using characters, your other Vikings. And then Kneebreaker, again, it's that like line AoE piercing, so it'll hit everybody in the line, and it has a chance of immobilizing. I'd probably run Killing Axe and Rebellious Spirit as a Viking, even though Killing Axe is kind of expensive. Okay, what else we got? Dragoon. I think Dragoon's a really interesting sub-job to give this guy, because there's a good chance you're going to run him paired with Kain if you have Kain. Kain is probably running Demon Wall. So Kain's going to be buffing your group's Pierce attack, he's going to be buffing your group's Slash resist, both things that Duane likes. So can Duane take advantage of that stuff? Yeah, I think he can. He does not have Dragon Dive. Like, I think that needed to be put out there straight away. He's not like regular Stern, who's going to be able to like maybe AoE some people down with the Dragon Dive, but he does have Jump, which is a cheap jumping move and does considerable damage. He also has Horizontal Jump, which on maps that are very flat will give him a massive ranged attack that does 220% damage. I actually am one of the few people who like Horizontal Jump better than I like Dragon Dive. Dragon Dive to me a lot of times forces your units really up close, and then it doesn't... I just love the range on Horizontal Jump. I don't want to talk trash on Dragon Dive. It's a great move. But I just like Horizontal Jump better because it gives you a chance to a lot of times smash the enemy from a range they did not anticipate. This also, access to the Dragoon sub, also makes him really good as a Dark Pierce unit for PvE content that is weakness to Pierce and Dark. Or even if it's not weakness to Dark, he can break the target's Dark resist with one of his moves. So, cool. Alright, last, let's talk about Death Scythe, his limit break. Right off the bat, you're going to notice 58 AP. Ooh! That's a lot. That's a lot of AP. Now, if he's running bells, alright, he'll blast him with that. You know, let him cast bells on turn 1. Maybe he'll buff himself on turn 2. By that point, he's way north of 58 AP. Unfortunately, by that point, he might not need to heal yet. So, this move is good. 200% damage in the cross-based AoE and absorbs 50% of the damage done. On paper, this move is really good. In practice, I don't know how much it's going to be used. 58 AP is a steep cost for any move. So, yeah, would I suggest leveling this up? Maybe to like 10. Like, level it to the point where it starts costing an insane amount of pots to level it. And then maybe just leave it there. And if he can use it, especially maybe if you can win your first Guild Wars fight and he's got a bunch of AP left over, and he can start the second Guild Wars fight by draining the enemy, awesome. Other than that, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that one, specifically because of the AP cost on it. Okay, let's look at Duane's Master ability before I talk about if you should pull him or not pull him. His Master ability is nuts. So, HP up 10% for your Dark Allies, Dark Attack up 15% for your Dark Allies, Defense Penetration 20 for himself, and Attack 10% for himself. This is really big. We've gotten a few units in Global that do this for their element, where they boost their element stats. Christmas Ramada, for example, Zombie Ryu, for example. Those were for elements that were not Dark. Dark is already really, really strong with Kain and Ruinstern running around, and giving them 10% more HP and 15 more dark attack, ooh, that's good. So, should you pull him? Well, as I was kind of alluding to, if you use these units right here, Kain, Ruinstern, Venera, and you're throwing in an Agrius, you're throwing in a Warrior of Light, something like that to be your tank or your bruiser, I think it's an easy swap. I think you swap Agrius straight out, you swap this dude straight in, you have him take that hate for the first couple turns, and you boost your DPS enough that it doesn't matter that he's not tanking the whole time. Cool. He does more damage than Agrius. He does more damage than Warrior of Light by a lot. So I think you're gaining so much more offensive power with him in a dark group that losing the guaranteed tank is no big deal. Would I run him with a healer? No. I don't think I would. I think the healer would pull aggro probably before the fight's over and end up dying. Would an Ayaka manage to, like, you know, cast her limit break on him once? Yeah, I'm sure she will. But he's probably going to have taken his 2 hits by then. That healing's probably going to pull aggro onto her, and she's going to die. So I would rather run 2 dark DPS units with him than I would run a healer. So my suggested group, my suggestion to you, as should you pull him, is can you throw him out there with some combination of 1 or more of these units plus something else dark, something else damage, and just start blowing your opponents off the map. If you can, I think this is an easy yes, especially with the access we have to him for $40-some. Yeah, spend a little bit of money, give Gumi that Christmas present. I can't believe I'm saying that. Get this guy and make your dark groups just insane. That's not even thinking about how much he's going to amplify dark groups in PvE. His dark resistance debuff against a raid boss or against a, you know, like one of those box event boss units is going to be massive. His buff to your dark units is going to help put them over the top on that damage. I think this guy will make any account that uses dark at all much, much stronger. He feels really good to me. This is a lot better than our last global exclusive, which I chased and didn't even get, and I guess I'm kind of happy I didn't get, whatever. I would suggest pulling him if you like to use dark. I am definitely going to pull him. My pull video is coming out later. I wanted to get this one out early so you guys could give you guys a taste of what you're getting into here. And I hope you liked it. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed it, please throw me a like, subscribe, all that stuff. Keep watching. We're right in the middle of our new series on tanks. So I'll be doing one for Duane as soon as I get him leveled up and start using him. Until then, have a great Christmas, and I will see you guys next time.